What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Horseshoe. My name is Matt, and as the draft gets closer and closer, I want to begin talking about certain players. I want to give my thoughts on them, whether I think they'd be a good fit for this team, and then I want to hear from you guys, what you guys think. But before we get into it, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be uploading content daily about the Colts and NFL in general. Like the video, hit the bell when you subscribe so you're notified when I have a video go up. All that good stuff. Now let's get into it. Let's talk about Tommy Tremble. Had his pro day a couple days ago. Obviously, people were watching for the offensive lineman. I would argue for Ian Book as well. And Jeremiah Osuakoromora, I believe that's how you say his name. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I still have no idea how to say his name, but I think that's pretty close. But those were the guys that people were watching for. One guy that not a lot of people were really watching pro day for was Tommy Tremble. This is a guy who, really wasn't high on a lot of people's radars, but I think after his pro day, he's starting to climb up. His 40-yard dash was a 4.59, which is pretty good, I would say, especially for a tight end. He's 6'3", he's about 241 pounds, so he's a pretty good size tight end. And, had pretty good numbers, not the greatest. But as somebody who watched Tommy Tremble this past couple seasons, he's not a guy, as I pull up his stats for you real quick, he's not a guy that is going to scream, really good, we need to go after this guy because of his numbers. Like, he doesn't have those type of numbers. Because in 2019, he had 16 receptions. 2020, he had 19 receptions, 218 yards. In 2020, no touchdowns compared to the 4 the previous year. But I will say, even though he was not really the stat guy, his numbers weren't crazy high or anything like that, that wasn't really his biggest strength for the team anyway. He's a blocking tight end. He's good at blocking. He's going to open up holes on his side when the running back is running with the ball. And also, as far as the ball being thrown to him, he wasn't really used a whole lot. I thought he should have been used more as far as getting the ball thrown to him, but it was mostly the receivers. Notre Dame, as of recent, I've noticed, isn't really a school that throws to their tight ends a lot. It's always, let's hit the receivers, let's get them. We have Boykins, 2 or 3 years ago, we had him. He was thrown to a lot. You had a kid that was drafted to Chase Claypool. You had him. He was used a lot. But the tight ends, not as much. They were used more in the past when you had Tyler Eifert and Kyle Rudolph, and guys like that. But tight ends aren't really used a whole lot when it comes to catching the football. It's more of the block, do all that good stuff. And, that's really what he was used for. But he made an impression during his pro day. And the reason why I'm talking about him today mostly is because Frank Reich has spent, I believe, 45 minutes with the tight ends coach after the pro day was done, talking about Tommy Tremble. I would assume if you're going to spend 45 minutes with the tight ends coach, you were impressed enough with Tommy Tremble to where, you would at least consider drafting him. Now, is he going to be a first-round pick? No, he's not. Second-round pick, though? I think there's a chance. Do I think he could fit in our offense? I actually think he really can. For one, that's another guy to use for blocking. We're going to be running the ball a lot in Indy. So if you have a tight end that's good at blocking, I think that can benefit the run game even more. I think Jack Doyle is reliable when it comes to catching the ball and whatnot, but Jack Doyle is getting older. He's 32 years old right now? So he doesn't have a whole lot of time really in the NFL left. I would argue he's actually 30, but I would argue he's got a few years left. I think within the next 2 years, he's going to start to hit a decline. So I think it would be smart to at least kind of consider getting his replacement because Mo Alley Cox is good, but he's not used a whole lot. Maybe he could become that big number one tight end that we need, but so far he hasn't been used as much as I think he should be. They're definitely a tight end friendly offense in Indy. I think the tight ends will catch the ball more often. And looking at Tremble, would I take him personally? I would. I would absolutely take Tommy Tremble, especially if he's available in the third round. I think he would be a steal for a third round pick. Obviously, you have Kyle Pitts. He's the number one tight end. There's no doubt about that at all. I don't care who out of anybody that's in the NFL right now, if you took, their college years and moved them to a point to where they could be drafted in this year's draft, there is no way they would be drafted ahead of Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is rated number 2 by some people in this entire draft class. You have Trevor Lawrence number 1, and there's people putting him at number 2. That's how good this guy is. So obviously, Tommy Tremble is not as good as Kyle Pitts. Nobody's going to argue that. But I have a weird feeling the Colts are either going to not draft a left tackle in the first round and just move Quentin Nelson to that left tackle spot, and then they sign some guys in the offseason. I know they signed a guard, yesterday? So what they could do is they could move the guy. I guess they signed this season. Chris Reed is his name. Chris Reed's not bad. Chris Reed's pretty good. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Reed becomes the new left guard and Quentin Nelson is the left tackle for this upcoming season. I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being the case. And then they draft an edge in the first round, and then they use that second pick for Tommy Tremble, because there's no way they'll get him in the third round because they don't have a third round pick unless they trade up, and I doubt that's going to happen. Or if they trade out of that first round and get, a third round pick as well, included in the package they get the first round pick for. Maybe they get a third round pick in that sense, but I'm right now not thinking they're going to have a third round pick. So with the second round pick, if they're going to get Tommy Tremble, it would have to be in the second round. And I think they're impressed enough to where I think there is a legit chance Tommy Tremble is going to be on the Colts. Will he be used a lot this year, assuming he's drafted? No, I don't think so. I think he would be used a little bit, but you still got Jack Doyle. You still have Mo Alley Cox. I don't think they're really focused on getting a tight end that can start immediately. I think they're looking for a guy that will be there in the future that can be used for blocking. So maybe he can get on the field when you have 2 tight ends out there. You have Jack Doyle and Tommy Tremble blocks, something like that. I think you could see Tommy Tremble used in those type of scenarios, but really he's not going to be used a whole lot outside of that. But the only way, if they're going to go with Quentin Nelson being our left tackle and then Chris Reed as the guard, the only way I could see Tommy Tremble not even being considered for the second round is if one of the big receivers end up being available in the first round. If we get to pick 21 and you have a Devontae Smith available, or you have Waddle, or for God's sake, and this will not happen, Jamar Chase, not going to happen. Top 10, guarantee a book it. He's going to Detroit or to Cincinnati. But if they don't take one of those receivers where it's a you got to take them type of player, and if their plan is to move Quentin Nelson to left tackle, which I kind of think that's the plan after the Chris Reed sign, and then have Chris Reed be your left guard, I think there's a legit chance that Tommy Tremble will be a member on the Colts. Frank Reich was super impressed with him. You don't talk to your tight ends coach if you're not going to draft one of their prospects, or at least considering drafting one of the prospects. And I think his stock has gone up. I don't even know if he'll be available when Indy is selecting. But I'll tell you right now, if their plan is to either just stick with what they got for defense or to draft a defensive end edge rusher in the first round and then move Quentin Nelson to left tackle and then use that second round pick for tight end or wide receiver or corner. If that's going to be the plan, I think if he's available at pick 54, I believe that's where Indy's at, Tommy Tremble will be selected. Would I be happy with it? I would be happy. That is something I would be totally cool with and totally happy with. I think Frank Reich would be very happy with that. I don't know how everybody else in Colts Nation would feel, but me personally, would I like Tommy Tremble on the team? I think with the upside, absolutely. So thank you all for watching this right now. If you're new, please subscribe. I'm going to be uploading content as much as possible, once a day at the very least. If any news breaks, I'm going to try to upload it unless I'm just completely gone and not at home. I'm going to upload, whenever breaking news happens. Going to have the live streams for Inside the Horseshoe, so check that out. And I might have another show in the near future come out that's going to be all Colts related. So be on the lookout for any announcements if that's going to be the case. Subscribe if you're new watching this. Click the bell. I would greatly appreciate it. If you like this video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Do what you want. I'm not going to control you. Comment below. Let me know. Tommy Tremble, is that somebody you would be interested in as a second round pick? Let me know. So thank you for watching. I've been Matt, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.